From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Tuesday morning. We have a wind advisory and a high wind warning that's in place. The wind advisory is in place for the foothills of the Blue Mountains in Morrow and Walla Walla counties, and then the high wind warning in place for the foothills of the Blues in Umatilla County. This runs from 10 p.m. tonight to 4 p.m. tomorrow. So we'll talk about how fast some of these wind gusts could be a little bit later in the show. Wind gusts right now still gusting upwards of 30 miles per hour in the lower Columbia Basin, upwards of 15 miles per hour in the foothills. So you combine that with some of the temperatures for this morning, and it does feel a little brisk out there. But the air temperatures 20s and 30s in the valley, so you might have to break out the ice scraper this way. But in the basin, in the foothills, just a little bit too warm for that, with temperatures in the low to mid 40s. But all of us certainly need a jacket for this morning as you're headed out the front door. We are seeing some reductions in visibility, some fog up towards the pass on Interstate 90, but elsewhere it looks like we're not as foggy as what we were just 24 hours back. We are tracking some scattered showers for this morning. We're expecting a much bigger round of rain and some mountain snow to arrive for tonight. Wet weather will continue into Wednesday and Thursday, and then we're tracking more into next week. So I'll tell you about all that coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, a car crash at a nearby intersection ends with the truck flying through the Denny's in Kennewick. This while people were eating inside, and we have the details on how this happened. And Veterans Day was celebrated all over the viewing area. We have how one local hospital paid it forward to our local vets in a unique way. And still ahead, President-elect Donald Trump is moving quickly to fill his cabinet positions. We have who's expected to hire and who's been weighing in on the staffing decisions. It's all coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal. It is Tuesday, November 12th. We start off this morning in developing news. A chaotic scene at the Kennewick Denny's after a truck barrels through the restaurant, and this after a car crash on 395 causes it to fly through the window. Now, the crash happened just before 2:30 p.m. yesterday at the intersection of US 395 and Kennewick Avenue. Authorities say a car and a truck crashed. While the car stayed in the road, the truck was thrown through the front window of the Denny's restaurant where people were sitting and dining. A Denny's employee tells us she heard what sounded like an explosion, and she also says she dropped to the ground only to look up and realize the truck was now in the restaurant. We're told at least 2 people are hurt. One was seen being put in an ambulance, and their current conditions are not yet known. We'll keep you updated once we get more information. Now to another crash. We're told 2 people are dead after an ATV and a motorbike crashed in Benton County. Now the crash happened on South Dag Road just after 9 p.m. Sunday. When crews got to the scene, they found 2 people on the road who they say died at the scene. Authorities say it appears the motorbike caught fire in the crash, and at this time the cause is under investigation, but it appears the drivers hit one another head on. And we'll bring you updates on this story as soon as more information is confirmed. And wrapping up crash news, the Richland Police Department is investigating a crash that happened on Clelum Avenue and Gillespie Street just after 6 p.m. Sunday. At least 1 person was taken to the hospital with injuries, and their condition is unknown at this time. In continuing coverage now, a 20-year-old man and 19-year-old man are facing murder charges after police say they killed 2 people after shooting at each other outside a Yakima grocery store. Now, police say they responded around 6:40 p.m. on Friday to a shooting outside the Safeway at 22nd Avenue and Nob Hill Boulevard. They found 2 men with gunshot wounds at the scene, and according to the coroner's office, 18-year-old Emmanuel Santos died at the scene, and 20-year-old Aaron Llamas died at the hospital. Officers located the suspect's car 5 minutes after the shooting, but they drove away from police for several blocks before stopping at 36th and Yakima Avenue. The suspects were treated for gunshot wounds and then booked into the county jail.
Is it believed to be gang-related?
At this point, it's unknown.
Police say it appears the suspects and victims knew each other, but they're still working to determine what happened leading up to the shooting. Now they say they'll be releasing more details later this week, and we'll update you once we know more. Now, Veterans Day was yesterday, and every year it's an opportunity to thank, recognize, and honor those who sacrifice so much so that we could be where we are today. Now, hospitals are always helping those in need of recovery, but our very own Monique Ledesma says one local hospital is striving to help those who help us. Take a look.
Prosser Memorial Health says it was founded 75 years ago to care for World War II veterans when they returned home. Jenna Hitchcock says 8 years ago, the healthcare providers and leadership decided it was a necessity to create an event to pay forward why they came to be, and that's how the annual Veterans Day breakfast started.
It was something to give back to the veterans. I mean, they're a very important part of our history, our community. You know, they give back to this day, and we wanted to be able to do something for them and their families as well.
This annual event allows a space for veterans, loved ones, and friends to pause, reflect, and connect.
Fantastic. When they walk in, they already know us. They've come to the hospital or a clinic before for services, and we know them and they know us, and they introduce us to their family that they bring, and it's just a really nice way to connect. It's a way for us to pause out of our busy schedules that we have at work and remember their service, their sacrifice, what they did, what it means to our country, and to be able to just do a little something for them.
The whole reason that our country exists is because of our veterans. Whether it's today's veterans or yesterday's veterans, they are the reason why we exist as a country. So we can't give them enough thanks.
David Rollins, a veteran who served in the Army National Guard, says part of Veterans Day is about reconnecting with veterans and making new connections.
I think the best part is meeting all the vets and talking to them, learning their stories. So many of these people, you're walking by them every day and you don't know the sacrifices that they made for the benefit of our country.
John Lewis, a Navy veteran, says for him, Veterans Day is a heartfelt day.
Well, the emotions are always high, especially with these older veterans that have made that sacrifice, being away from their family, their loved ones. It's a very emotional day. It really, really is. But it's also a great day.
Rollins says Veterans Day also puts a pause to friendly rivalry.
This is one of the few days during the year where there's no rivalry between the Army, Navy, and Air Force, right? So, other than when Army and Navy plays.
Hitchcock says every year they try to reach out to serve more veterans and their families through their annual Veterans Day breakfast event. This year is their biggest one yet, serving about 300 families. Reporting in Prosser, Monique Ledesma, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Monique. And PMH helps veterans year-round through a one-on-one care plan, which helps them connect or access services depending on their needs. And for more information, you can visit our website. Now, Prosser isn't the only city that honored local vets. In Kennewick, a 40-foot standing structure celebrated the anniversary of the Regional Veterans Memorial. Now, people from all over the area gathered in Columbia Park to celebrate and honor veterans, and Kennewick Mayor Gretel says Veterans Day resonates with her.
My grandfather received a Silver Star, a Bronze Star, and then ultimately a Purple Heart for his efforts in World War II. He did not live past that, but my mother was born just after that. He's buried in Holland, so places like this to me are a remembrance of the sacrifices that he gave and that so many have given and are still giving today to fight for freedoms.
Crawford says this memorial is the tallest granite structure in the United States, and she says the memorial is a symbol of respect for all the vets in our community. Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, Bitcoin continues to surge days after the presidential election. We have what experts are advising when it comes to whether you should invest in cryptocurrency. But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert will have your weather forecast. Good Morning Northwest. We'll be right back.
There was a time when you could get a complete meal for just $5, but you gotta go way back. Well, just a Tuesday. Yes, Tuesdays at A&W, single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. This all-time great deal is available Tuesdays only at A&W.
Apple Valley News Now is home to top shows from ABC like 911, the all-new Dr. Odyssey, and The Golden Bachelorette. And Apple Valley News Now is home to the #1 local morning newscast.
Now that's good.
Good Morning Northwest, followed by Good Morning America. Plus, we lead the way in sports with NFL Monday Night Football, college football, including the SEC and the Seattle Kraken. Apple Valley News Now, proudly serving South Central Washington and Northern Oregon.
And we are on your side.
Step into the Prosser House, where great food meets comfortable atmosphere. We invite you to relax in our cozy space. From classic dishes to chef-inspired creations, and now we're raising the bar, literally. With our newly renovated bar, we're serving up crafted cocktails, your favorite local brews, and award-winning wines. Plus, we're proud to announce that the Prosser House is your restaurant showdown champion. Special night out or just a break from cooking, experience the award-winning difference at the Prosser House.
Now's the time to get a great deal on taking care of your property. You need the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. so you can do it all and do it right. Z-Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0% APR for up to 84 months.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at gokubota.com.
The White Card, a powerful resource for former Hanford and DOE employees. If you worked in the area and have come down with cancer, lung disease, Parkinson's, or renal failure, you may be eligible for financial compensation and healthcare services. A simple phone call can get the process started. Atomic Home Health. Don't wait. Call today.
KFC's fan favorite country fried steak is just $5.99 every Wednesday. It's a complete meal with your favorite sides. Best of all, it's just $5.99. Country fried steak, $5.99 Wednesdays only at KFC.
It's being called dancing's hottest season yet, and our Ginger knows a little something about dancing. And this morning, Ginger is in the ballroom with 2 dance-filled mornings for Dancing with the Stars' amazing 500th episode on GMA.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's take you on a temperature tour. As right now in Kittitas County, we're hovering right around freezing. We're actually below freezing in Ellensburg. So this is where you would maybe want to break out the ice scraper for this morning. And we might be having a similar conversation in portions of the Yakima Valley. As we're below freezing in Yakima, we're right at 30 degrees, 33 degrees in Toppenish, 35 in Sunnyside. And it is a little bit warmer in the lower Columbia Basin, as we're seeing temperatures that are mostly in the low 40s. Although we are seeing some middle to upper 40s, 49 in the Tri-Cities, 47 in Hermiston, and then in the foothills of the Blue Mountains, we're seeing temperatures that are in the 30s and 40s, 39 in Heppner, 45 for Pendleton, and 43 degrees in Milton Freewater. But remember, especially in the basin and foothills, it could feel a little cooler than that because of some of the wind gusts that we have for this morning. Here's your day planner for today. By 8 this morning, could have some showers in the foothills of the Blues, but the rest of us should be dry. Then by lunchtime, looks like even in the foothills will be dry. A decent amount of sunshine for some spots, and then by 4 p.m. the clouds start to build in again, and that's going to be ahead of that round of rain and mountain snow that we'll have to deal with for tonight. So for today, we'll be about 5 degrees above average for this time of the year. Winds gusting out of the south and west between 20 to 30 miles per hour. And then for tonight, overnight lows only down into the 30s and 40s, but at this point, it'll be pretty damp, widespread wet weather, and the winds shifting out of the south and east between 20 to 25 miles per hour. We'll time out the wet weather with Futurecast, and I'll tell you how much rain and snow we're expecting from the storm system, and all that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. In your business news this morning, some say it's an easy way to make big money, but others say investors beware. We're talking about cryptocurrency, and it's hitting record highs after the election. ABC's Lionel Moise takes a closer look.
This morning, a new high in the craze over crypto. Bitcoin surging past $87,000, an all-time record.
You're seeing an extremely rapid rise in value. It's up 25 or 30% since the election results came in last Tuesday.
Bitcoin and other crypto is digital currency that can be bought and sold directly without a middleman like a bank. President-elect Trump has vowed to build a national strategic reserve of Bitcoin.
I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
And he's reportedly considering pro-crypto candidates to lead U.S. financial agencies. But crypto has been under scrutiny in recent years. You may remember commercials like these.
Trade? Are you sure? Not a trade. I'm trading crypto. FTX is the safest and easiest way to buy and sell crypto. It's the best way to get in the game.
It's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
I don't think so.
Celebrities promoting now-defunct crypto trading platform FTX, only to be named in a class action lawsuit. The CEO sentenced to 25 years for defrauding investors out of billions of dollars. Critics also voicing concern about the environmental impact due to the energy-consuming transactions. Still, Trump's promise to deregulate the industry and Trump ally Elon Musk's longtime support of crypto are fueling investors' enthusiasm, driving the price sky high.
What do you say to someone who feels left out from this and is feeling like they need to jump into this investment?
If you've already made your money, I would say congratulations. Take it off the table, pay your capital gains taxes, and you'll have some good stories to tell people at the bar. For people who have missed this run-up, there's lots of things that you wish you had bought a week ago, but I think it's already too late.
Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Experts say if you do decide to invest in crypto, diversity is key, saying due to the risk, it should be a small percentage of your portfolio. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, billionaire Elon Musk is joining President-elect Trump on the campaign trail, as we just touched on a little bit. An official saying he spent the past week with Trump weighing in on his staffing decisions. We have details after the break.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to beat their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
You know you want a burger, so make it my Smash Jack. Rated the best burger in fast food. It's even got more beef than a Big Mac. Chin up, Ronald. Maybe you'll get a participation trophy. My Smash Jack, now on sourdough.
Welcome to Talking About. Our business is changing lives through the power of work. I work out here to help customers with donations, greet them and thank them, and that's what I do. I got 2 Spirit Awards of recognitions. When I retire here, I will say goodbye to the store and they will honor me probably and might put a nice plaque on the wall that I worked for many years. I like it here. I'm in a better place at Goodwill. I really like the administration here, so that's excellent for me.
Goodwill. Donate, shop, impact locally.
Workers and the families of deceased workers who worked at the Hanford site are now eligible for compensation for diseases and illnesses. This may be in addition to compensation already being received. Smart Law will be hosting a Hanford Workers' Compensation educational dinner at their Kennewick office Thursday, November 21st at 6 p.m. To register, call 509-735-5555. Dinner provided. Smart Law, smart choice.
Chase knows how to put the heart in your local community. Evan, you helping them with savings, right? Somebody just got their first debit card. Ice cream on you? Your money is a part of your community, so your bank should be too, like Chase.
Elevate the holidays with Water to Wine cruises. Experience the holiday season with Northwest Wines and fine cuisine on our luxury yacht. Join one of our unique holiday cruises. Book today at watertowinecruises.com.
If you think you can find another $5 breakfast meal served all day with something savory like my Bacon Breakfast Jack and something sweet like my fluffy French toast sticks, you thought wrong. But that's okay, I'll still let you have mine. At Jack, every bite's a big deal.
Welcome to Talking About.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to beat their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
North Idaho's Priest Lake in early fall. Fly the Northwest tonight. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We do have a few scattered showers this morning, mostly in the Cascades and in the Blues. There is snow above 4,000 feet. Let's show you what happens for the rest of today with Futurecast. We stopped this around lunchtime. You can see it's just going to be more scattered showers on the map, but then as we head into the mid to late evening hours, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, this is when we're expecting that next round of rain and mountain snow to impact us. And by the time we get to your commute hour for tomorrow morning, could be a pretty messy scene out there. But then as we head into the evening, looks like our mode will shift back to that of more scattered showers on the map. Here's some of the water totals that we're expecting over the next 48 hours. This is subject to change. We're thinking maybe 1.5 inches of water up in the Cascades, upwards of 1 inch for the Blues, upwards of 1/2 inch for the Blue Foothills, and then up to 1/4 inch for the valleys and even here in the lower Columbia Basin. Snow levels will start off this morning around 4,000 feet, raising up to 5,000 feet by tomorrow morning. That's going to be above pass level for most of the passes within our area. Speaking of the passes, speaking of snowfall, over the next 48 hours, we're thinking anywhere between 1 to 4 inches of snow for our Cascade passes above 4,000 feet. That would include Stevens Pass, Blewett Pass, and White Pass. And then for our Blue Mountain passes, I'm thinking Battle Mountain Summit off of US 395 could get a couple inches, but that's about all she wrote for this storm system. We have another one as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. That was mostly what I showed you on Futurecast. Then we'll have a bit of a drier stretch for Friday and Saturday. Then there's another storm system that we're tracking for Sunday into Monday. That one is looking like it's going to be even snowier, as the snow levels could be lower, down to around 2,000 to 3,500 feet. We'll definitely keep tabs on that. And here's some of the leftover rain and snow that I didn't mention. But for Thursday, you see not much doing at that point. And our temperatures definitely feeling much cooler by Friday and beyond. And that is going to set the stage for those lower snow levels into Sunday and Monday. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Wet weather surges tonight into Wednesday, drier for Thursday through Saturday, but more wet weather looms Sunday into Monday. For Yakima, much drier for Thursday through Saturday, turning cooler then wetter again by Sunday and Monday. In Ellensburg, wet and in the 50s through Thursday, highs drop into the 40s for Friday and beyond. For Hermiston, more wet weather tonight into tomorrow, drying out Thursday through Saturday, but more wet weather is likely starting Sunday. Then for Walla Walla, a cold rain is likely through Friday, a short reprieve for Saturday, then back into the action for Sunday.
Thank you, Josh. In political news this morning, Trump is moving quickly to fill his cabinet positions. Among the latest new hires, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, set to serve as Secretary of State, and one of Trump's prominent supporters appears to be offering input on several of the staffing decisions. Billionaire Elon Musk joining Trump on the campaign trail since his endorsement over the summer, and this after spending the past week with Trump at Mar-a-Lago. ABC's Christiane Cordero has more.
This morning, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, the once rival who in 2016 Trump dubbed Lil Marco,
and the first thing he does is launch an attack about some little guy thing because he doesn't have answers,
is set to become the president-elect's right-hand man on foreign policy as Secretary of State. Rubio turned into one of Trump's most vocal supporters on the campaign trail.
Because together with Donald Trump, we are going to make America not just great, but greater than it has ever been before.
He has extensive foreign policy experience in the Senate. On Ukraine, Rubio has recently been critical of the U.S.'s support. He voted against a supplemental funding bill passed earlier this year, urging for negotiations to end the war. Other Trump appointments, Florida Congressman Mike Waltz as National Security Advisor, the first Green Beret to serve in Congress, and former New York Congressman Lee Zeldin, set to lead the EPA. It comes as former Democrat turned Trump supporter Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is reportedly reviewing resumes for top jobs at the Department of Health and Human Services and the FDA. Kennedy, a vaccine skeptic, has indicated he would fire up to 600 employees at the National Institutes of Health, the agency responsible for keeping the nation safe from deadly diseases. Also weighing in on new hires, billionaire Elon Musk. Sources tell ABC News Musk has been on at least 2 phone calls Trump has had with foreign leaders, and that Musk is now offering input on staffing decisions.
Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, the next Mission Impossible could be the last one ever. Is it finally possible? Coming up, we have a first look at the movie that's due next year, and that's coming up in your entertainment headlines after the break.
There was a time when you could get a complete meal for just $5, but you gotta go way back. Well, just a Tuesday. Yes, Tuesdays at A&W, single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. This all-time great deal is available Tuesdays only at A&W.
Good Shepherd provides the most up-to-date orthopedic care available. Our team of experienced board-certified surgeons, physiatrists, and podiatrists are capable of fulfilling your orthopedic needs. Services include precise joint replacements, sports medicine, all orthoscopic shoulder and knee repairs, fracture care, hand surgery, and foot and ankle care. We are here to help you with your pain and maximize your body's performance and function. Good Shepherd Orthopedics in Hermiston. Patients first, always.
North Idaho's Priest Lake in early fall.
This time of year is my favorite. It is absolutely stunning. It's quiet, the lake is calm, the trees are turning.
Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 tonight.
Hey Luke, I am so excited to host the CMA Awards again.
Nashville, here we come.
Hang tight, honey, got a pocket full of money and I'm headed straight home to you.
Randy, what are you doing here?
I'm hosting the CMA Awards with y'all.
It looks like clear skies and a star-studded night. Saddle up for the CMA Awards from Nashville, only on Apple Valley News Now.
All right, boys. Y'all ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Move on over, Luke.
Okay, get. Oh.
Thank you guys for making Apple Valley News Now's Good Morning Northwest and ABC's Good Morning America the most watched morning news on local TV.
Thank you.
What's new, what's now, and what's next? Plus first alert weather every 10 minutes. Wake up with Apple Valley News Now.
We're on your side.
On your side.
KFC's fan favorite country fried steak is just $5.99 every Wednesday. It's a complete meal with your favorite sides. Best of all, it's just $5.99. Country fried steak, $5.99 Wednesdays only at KFC.
We hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. We hope to see you tomorrow morning on Good Morning Northwest.
With the Dust Devils home opener just days away, we'll have a season preview for you.
Looking forward to that. Also, I'll have your first alert weather forecast. Hope to see you tomorrow starting at 5 a.m.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In entertainment news, the title of the next Mission Impossible movie sounds like it could be the final film in the franchise.
Either way, Tom Cruise is going out with a bang, so David Daniel has a sneak peek in today's Hollywood Minute.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
Could this be Tom Cruise's final turn as Ethan Hunt? If it is, you know he's going out with a bang. Here's your first look at Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, the 8th film in the franchise and the follow-up to Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Whether or not it's the last hurrah, The Final Reckoning arrives in theaters May 23rd.
Ted was a legend, an American hero.
He wanted to build this entertainment empire.
It was groundbreaking.
That man is way more rock and roll than I am.
Call Me Ted takes a deep dive into the life of cable media icon, world-class yachtsman, Goodwill Games creator, and philanthropist Ted Turner. Producer Joni Levin and writer-director Keith Clark spent 5 years separating the man from the myth.
We admire Ted, but we see his flaws, and we want the audience to see and feel those flaws so that they get an appreciation of what he accomplished, even with those flaws. Yeah. And that makes a man, makes a person, makes a human being.
The 6-part documentary Call Me Ted debuts Wednesday on Max. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Okay, Josh, have you seen all of the Mission Impossibles?
No, Tom Cruise kind of gives me the ick. Anything that he's in, I don't really want to watch.
I totally understand that, but I think I've seen 1 or 2, but I've lost count that there's so many. So maybe this will finally be where he completes Mission Impossible. And
Also,
it's not impossible anymore.
If the first mission was impossible and he did it, then should we be surprised if he can complete an impossible mission again? I feel like it kind of undercuts.
Maybe it just was never possible, and it's finally possible. Who knows? We'll figure it out next year. Well, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest at 5:30, Initiative 2117, which would have repealed the Climate Commitment Act, was voted down, and Governor Inslee says this choice by Washingtonians will help bring more jobs to the state. Details are coming up in your next half hour, but first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Amazon is reportedly testing AR glasses for its delivery drivers. The smart glasses could provide directions, help navigate buildings, and replace GPS devices. Amazon says it's working to make deliveries more efficient, but there's no word if the glasses will be used by its drivers permanently. Next, YouTube is testing a new swipe up feature for full-length videos. The move, spotted by testers on Android, mimics TikTok's swipe up gesture, which skips to the next video. The feature is limited to a small test group, group, and YouTube hasn't commented on a wider release yet. Finally, LG has unveiled a stretchable display that can expand from 12 to 18 inches. The screen can be stretched over 10,000 times without losing its sharpness. LG says it could be used in clothing, cars, and even safety gear like firefighter uniforms. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Andrea Fujii. Have a great day.
It's here at Secrets where love becomes something that much more. More breathtaking. More heart racing. More soulmating. It's here where that all-consuming, life-giving, full-body butterfly thing called love just is. Be more where love is. Be more here. Unlimited luxury at Secrets Resorts and Spas.
Bye-bye, cough.
Later, chest congestion. Hello, 12 hours of relief.
12 hours? Not coughing? Hashtag still not coughing?
Mucin XDM gives you 12 hours of relief from chest congestion and any type of cough, day or night. Mucin XDM. It's comeback season.
Oh, joy. You're a baker and new mom and student. You're an Ander. National University supports the whole you, so you can focus on what matters most. National University, supporting the whole you.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
All right, Josh, this week is National Get Outdoors Week. Everyone here, you know, it's always great weather typically to get outdoors and do something fun, but are we going to be seeing that this week? Is it too cold?
I would say during the day today, it's going to be mostly dry, so really no big excuses to not get outside, but
walk
tonight into tomorrow, it's going to be pretty wet out there, so there would be some more valid excuses. Sure, walking the dog would be a great idea for today. I should probably do that a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look right now at this. By the way, this is not the temperature map. It's not 18 degrees out there, but the winds are gusting upwards of 18 miles per hour in Walla Walla, gusting upwards of 30 miles per hour in the Tri-Cities. So you combine that with some of the air temperatures that we're seeing for this morning, and it is a little bit colder than what these air temperatures would otherwise suggest. Now, in the valleys, we're seeing air temperatures in the 20s and 30s, so you might have to break out the ice scraper out that way. Visibility is looking pretty good for lower elevations, but we are seeing some fog up towards Snoqualmie Pass, so definitely good reason to take it slow up that way. We're tracking just some light showers for the time being in the Blues and in the Cascades. This is snow and elevations above 4,000 feet. And it's going to be pretty scattered showers throughout the daytime for today, but some more organized wet weather arriving by the late evening. So in the Tri-Cities, I think you could do without the raincoat for most of the day, but then by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, that's when maybe you would need the raincoat or the umbrella. So for today will be about 5 degrees above average for this time of the year. Mostly dry during the daytime. Obviously, that switches up for tonight, and I'll show you what this storm system could do to our rainfall deficit and snowfall surplus. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Now we start this half hour off in national news. Members of the House and Senate are back on Capitol Hill today after a more than month-long recess. Amy Kiley reports on the pressing deadlines before Inauguration Day.
That December 20th deadline is going to creep up very quickly.
Congress returns to Washington today after an extended election recess. Lawmakers face an urgent to-do list and a ticking clock. They have about 5 weeks to pass a funding bill to keep the government open.
Expect a clash because that's always what happens when we have these potential shutdowns. Republicans are likely going to push for a shorter-term funding patch, while Democrats are going to want a longer-term funding plan.
Another pressing concern is this fiscal year's National Defense Authorization Act. The House and Senate have separate versions on the table and need one that can pass both chambers. Congress also faces pressure to approve more disaster relief funds after Hurricanes Milton and Helene.
We have seen an increase in the frequency and gravity of extreme weather events, and it is our obligation as a government to be prepared for the long term. And that is why we need Congress to act.
Meanwhile, some farm bill programs expire at the end of this year. The debt ceiling will be reinstated January 2nd, and
President Biden will have the opportunity over the next 70 days to make the case to the Congress and to the incoming administration that the United States should not walk away from Ukraine.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And the Senate faces a few votes that don't include the House, and Republicans are set to elect their leaders for that chamber tomorrow, and Senate Democrats are rushing to confirm President Joe Biden's judicial nominees. In Fire Watch now, officials say one dog is dead and one person injured after a house fire in Pasco. Now, the fire broke out Friday just after 10 p.m. at the 4400 block of West Nixon Street. Officials were at the scene within a few minutes of the call, but found flames and heavy smoke coming from the windows and roof. The person taken to the hospital suffered smoke inhalation and an injury to their foot. 2 dogs were able to escape, but firefighters found the body of another dog inside the home. Officials say it took nearly 9 hours before fire crews could leave the scene, and they also say the house had significant damage and can no longer be lived in. In a follow-up now on Initiative 2117, I-2117 would have repealed the Climate Commitment Act, but it was voted down. Governor Jay Inslee says Washingtonians want to continue supporting new energy technologies and that the state will continue legislative policies to back that up. He says our residents want to keep moving forward with the Climate Commitment Act.
Washingtonians were not happy that it would remove the ability to get heat pumps for lower-income people. Washingtonians were not happy that it would have canceled free bus rides for everybody under the age of 18. They were not happy that it would have canceled the ability for schools to buy air filtration systems so our kids can breathe when we have this forest fire smoke.
Governor Inslee also says the Climate Commitment Act has the potential to create more than 45,000 jobs in our state and generate $9.1 billion over the next 8 years. In sports news this morning, the Tri-City Americans are red hot. They won 12 in a row after taking on the Calgary Hitmen last night. The last time the Ams took on Calgary was when the Hitmen snapped a 5-game losing streak last year. In the last 5 games at home, the Americans outscored their opponents 31-21. Ams left winger Brandon Wynot says while he knows about his point streak, he's more focused on the team.
Not get too high, just kind of stay in the middle, obviously, but just kind of keep doing what we're doing. Just keep doing the little things right, getting our puck in their zone, and just obviously keeping in their zone is obviously a lot easier to play in our zone.
The Ams took on Calgary last night at the Toyota Center, and the Americans they also gave out free tickets at the game to honor our military, both active as well as veterans. Now check this out. Veterans Day took place worldwide yesterday, and in the long history of the day, the goal has been clear: to honor military service members. Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell attended one such parade yesterday where she met the young people, bringing that history to life.
For the past 20 years, the Sela High School Serve Club, which is dedicated to honoring veterans' experiences, has marched to do just that.
Students showcasing a collection of military uniforms dating from the 1860s to modern times that's taken Sela High School history teacher Brian Dibble decades to put together.
Once I got to about 5 or 6 uniforms, being a teacher, it's like, hey kid, you fit. And then one by one, I think we're at 22 today.
22 current and former students like Drew Lucas wearing those uniforms to march side by side as living memories.
We are here to help represent all the vets from Civil War to modern times, and it's a way of honoring them and making sure they know they're not forgotten.
Some, like Lisa Sievers, marching for family members who fought for freedom.
I do it to represent my great-grandfather, and I think it's just a really good way to show and represent our vets.
For James Hall, that representation is especially important for those who may feel alone.
Like Korean War vets, they're getting to where we don't have many of those left. And having somebody here representing them and showing that they aren't forgotten is, I think, important.
Veterans who see them march sometimes offering advice on adjusting gear, but Dibble says many didn't pay attention at the time to the uniforms they were issued.
It was just Army issue stuff, and they really didn't think much about it. Now that they get a chance to see it authentically, a lot of them, it's a trip down memory lane. So we elicit a lot of extra stories, and for the kids, you know, they're the vehicle to take those stories to the next gen. So if they don't learn them, who will?
If you're interested in helping the Sela High School Serve Club fulfill its mission, we have information about how to do that on our website, applevalley.newsnow.com. Reporting from the Yakima newsroom, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, the cost to borrow money has gone down slightly, but mortgage rates remain high. We have why that is coming up in your consumer news.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
Tonight is Hockey Night at Climate Pledge Arena as Columbus visits Seattle.
We have a chance to write a different script, or we got to show a little bit differently.
Kraken, Blue Jackets. Pre-game at 6:30 tonight on Apple Valley News Now.
I am so excited to host the CMA Awards again.
Nashville, here we come. Lady, what are you doing here?
I'm hosting the CMA Awards with y'all.
Clear skies and a star-studded night. The CMA Awards on Apple Valley News Now.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some, gimme Some Bagels.
At Bruce Heating and Air, your comfort is our business. With over 30 years of professional HVAC experience for residential and commercial properties, you can rest assured your heating and air system is in good hands. In addition to providing quality heating, air conditioning, ventilation, and installation services, Bruce Heating and Air also houses a full-service sheet metal fabrication shop.
Through December 31st, receive rebates up to $1,850 off on a new Daikin Fit system when you finance through Bruce Heating and Air. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
I saw the chrome bumper right in front of me, and then that's all I remember.
Willie was hit by a dump truck at full speed, and it's been a long recovery.
I decided that I wanted a professional to take care of it, just from the get-go. The companies just try to, drain you.
The truck's insurance company fought us, but I hit them at full speed, and Willie won.
Mariano took care of everything. Don't go with the first guy that sells you unicorns and rainbows. Go with Mariano.
The heavy hitter is the one for you. Call 853-2222.
Life can be hard. With Culligan, your water doesn't have to be.
Election night 2024.
Live election night.
As the votes were counted,
We've got some hot ones we are following for you right now.
one winner emerged. Apple Valley News Now.
Polls are closed, but there are people still in line.
Apple Valley News Now is on your side.
I feel happy about my future now.
I can see myself with Joan the rest of my life.
My intentions are to get down on a knee.
I had only been in love with one person, more than one now. I feel happy about my future now.
I can see myself with Joan the rest of my life.
My intentions are to get down on a knee.
I had only been in love with one person, more than one now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's take you on a bit of a tour of today's forecast. We start off in Kittitas County, where these high temperatures today are going to be in the upper 40s to low 50s. We'll be in the low 40s in the highest terrain of Kittitas County, and the winds today will mostly gust out of the west upwards of 20 miles per hour. That would mostly be in the Cascades. Then for the Yakima Valley, these winds gusting out of the south and west upwards of 20 miles per hour. Mostly dry during the daytime, but that'll obviously change for tonight. These high temperatures into the mid mid-50s. Then in the lower Columbia Basin, we'll be about 5 degrees above average for this time of the year. So some of us will flirt with 60 degrees, 59 in Hermiston, 58 in the Tri-Cities, winds gusting out of the south and west upwards of 30 miles per hour at times. And then for the foothills of the Blues and the Blue Mountains proper, these winds also gusting out of the south and west upwards of 30 miles per hour at times. And these high temperatures today mostly in the low to mid 50s, although in the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains we'll be stuck in the mid 40s for places like Ukiah and Meacham. Now let's show you the big picture, what we're expecting to happen to our rainfall deficits in the wake of this storm system. So here is what we were expecting heading into this storm system. Here's what we're expecting on the tail end of this storm system. We'll still be running rainfall deficits for the season, but making about 5 to 15% improvements in the valleys and about 5 to 10% improvements in the basin and in the foothills. Now our snowpack situation's the complete opposite. Our snowpack looking really good. For the time being, we'll have more chances of snow over the next 7 days. I'll tell you about those coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. In your consumer news this morning, the cost to borrow money has gone down slightly. This after the Federal Reserve approved lowering interest rates by a quarter point last week. However, mortgage rates still remain high, and Jen Sullivan explains why that is in today's Consumer Watch.
The Federal Reserve announcing last week to cut the benchmark federal funds rate by a quarter point, lowering borrowing costs for banks to 4.5% to 4.75%.
We are committed to maintaining our economy's strength by supporting maximum employment and returning inflation to our 2% goal.
The move will lower interest rates for things like credit cards, car loans, and other debt. But the one borrowing cost that hasn't gone down are mortgage rates. In fact, 30-year fixed mortgage rates inched up last week to 6.79%, according to Freddie Mac.
Mortgage rate hit 20-year high.
So with higher rates, why are prices staying high? Lawrence Yoon, the chief economist with the National Association of Realtors, says there's a lack of inventory. Fewer homes on the market means higher prices and more competition.
Home prices hitting new record highs with each passing month, and this is simply due to the fact that we have a housing shortage.
High costs are also hurting the housing market. The median home sale price last month was $418,700. That's more than 3% higher than last year, according to the NAR.
It's frustrating to see that, but it's not surprising.
It's especially frustrating for people trying to buy their first home. Only 24% of housing sales last month were first-time home buyers. But Yoon predicts some good news for buyers.
I think the new normal for mortgage rate could be something closer to 6%.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, the White House is racing to shore up key initiatives that President Biden had signed, racing to do this before President-elect Trump takes office in just 10 weeks. We have exactly what they're working on and more of your top stories coming up in your morning sprint. But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your full weather forecast.
From Apple Valley News Now, this is Apple Valley Eats.
All right, so my job here is the food and beverage executive chef. I've been here 10 years. Started off here as an entry-level cook. I was given the opportunity to step into the executive chef role, which is the position that I'm in. I've been in that position for about 6 years now, almost. What I do here, I handle not so much the day-to-day operations, but everything that goes into the menu planning, the SOPs for all of the cooks, recipes, ensuring all the recipes are all the same, the consistency, the vision of the food and beverage department as far as the aesthetics, what is it going to look like, what does the food preparation look like. We have everything from catering, fast food, employee meals, which is a cafeteria style setting, and then obviously our bread and butter, what we do, a buffet here at Legends. What we like to do here is try to keep our team members happy, try to be versatile with them, try to be flexible, whatever needs that they may have. We try to accommodate. We do have childcare here on property, so if somebody needs to drop their kids off at childcare, that option's always there. You could come into our department with no experience at all, but we're gonna show you how to hold a knife, we're gonna show you how to cut vegetables, we're gonna show you how to cut meat, we're gonna show you how to use all the equipment. Is the comfort of knowing that I'm gonna have my consistent 40 hours a week. And that goes from everywhere from a dishwasher all the way up to my position. It's another benefit of working here at Legends. I like to think of it more as a career rather than a job.
Your lawn demands a lot out of you all summer long, but now you can demand a lot out of your equipment with the E-Force line from Echo. The max-out technology inside every Echo trimmer keeps it running so you can get the job done, and the long-lasting battery power that Echo provides will make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood. So what are you waiting for? See the complete line of Echo E-Force products at Liberty Lawn and Saw on Van Giesen in West Richland or online at libertylawnandsaw.com.
At the Pacific Clinic, we understand the juggle of parenthood. That's why the PC is your one-stop shop for all your health, sports, and medical needs. Schedule your appointments around your favorite group fitness classes and use our on-site childcare services.
From women's health to care for your little ones, we practice a comprehensive approach to keep your family feeling great.
With our quick and convenient scheduling, we'll get you in within the same week, often the next day. Call us today at 509-783-5465.
Priest Lake in fall. Fly the Northwest tonight at 6. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We just have these light showers that are mostly in the Blues and Cascades for this morning. It's snow above 4,000 feet. Let's show you what happens to this for the rest of today. And we could have some scattered showers throughout the day. The best coverage is going to be in the foothills and up in the mountain ranges. But then watch what happens as we head into the mid to late evening. We're going to get this next big time band of rain and mountain snow. We'll show you some of the totals we're expecting here in just a second. But this is going to be pretty widespread by the time we get to the commute time frame for tomorrow morning. So that could be a bit of a messy commute. And then the mode will switch to more of a scattered shower mode as we head into the evening and as we head into Thursday. So here are some of the water totals we're expecting through Thursday morning. This is subject to change. We're thinking maybe upwards of 1.5 inches for the Cascades, 1 inch for the Blues, maybe up to 1/2 inch for the Blue Foothills, and then up to 1/4 inch for those of us in the valleys and in the lower Columbia Basin. Snow levels, like I said, for this morning, starting off around 4,000 feet, going up to around 5,000 feet by tomorrow morning, which should be above most of the past levels within our area. Speaking of the passes, speaking of snow, here's some of the snowfall totals we're expecting through Thursday morning. This is also subject to change. We're thinking between 1 to 4 inches for our passes. Stevens Pass, Blewett Pass, White Pass, any of the passes above 4,000 feet. And then Battle Mountain Summit on US 395. I'm thinking that's probably going to pick up a couple inches down in Umatilla County. Then into Thursday, we're expecting a little bit more in the way of water, not much though for the valleys, basin, or foothills. And then in terms of additional snowfall, not much that we're expecting for either Cabbage Hill or Snoqualmie Pass. So that gets us through Thursday, looking a little bit drier for Friday and Saturday. Then we're tracking that next storm system in a Sunday and Monday. Snow levels with that one looking even lower, down to around 2,000 feet. So that storm system could be the snowiest one we've seen thus far this wet season, but we'll have more to say about that a little bit later in the week. For now, here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Wet weather surges tonight into Wednesday, drier for Thursday through Saturday, but more wet weather looms Sunday into Monday. In Yakima, much drier for Thursday through Saturday, turning cooler, then wetter again by Sunday and Monday. In Ellensburg, wet and in the 50s through Thursday, highs drop into the 40s for Friday and beyond. And then for Hermiston, more wet weather tonight into tomorrow, drying out Thursday through Saturday, but more wet weather is likely starting Sunday. Then for Walla Walla, a cold rain is likely through Friday, a short reprieve for Saturday, then back into the action for Sunday.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is now 5:52. It's time for your morning sprint in our 5 o'clock hour. Starting off, here are the top 5 local stories you need to know this morning. A crash on US 395 and Kennewick Avenue causes a truck to crash through the Denny's restaurant. It happened just before 2:30 p.m. yesterday. The car stayed in the road, but the truck was thrown through the front window where people were sitting and dining. We're told at least 2 people are hurt, as one was seen being put in an ambulance, and their current conditions are not yet known. And 2 people are dead after an ATV and motorbike crash in Benton County. Officials found the 2 dead at the scene. The crash happened on South Dag Road Sunday night, and the cause of the crash is under investigation, but it appears the drivers hit one another head on. And 2 people are facing murder charges after police say they killed 2 people after shooting at each other outside a Yakima grocery store. The coroner's office says the two victims who died are 18-year-old Emmanuel Santos and 20-year-old Aaron Llamas. Police responded Friday evening to the shooting outside the Safeway at 22nd Avenue and Nob Hill Boulevard. Officers were able to find the suspects and booked them into the county jail after they were treated for gunshot wounds. Police say it appears the suspects and victims knew each other, but they're still working to determine what happened. Initiative 2117 was voted down, and this means the Climate Commitment Act will stay in place. Governor Inslee says the state will continue legislative policies to back up new energy technologies. He also says the Climate Commitment Act has the potential to create more than 45,000 jobs in the state and generate $9.1 billion over the next 8 years. And the Tri-City Americans have won 12th in a row. The Ams took on Calgary last night at the Toyota Center, and the Ams also gave free tickets out at the game to honor military and for Veterans Day. Now to your national news, the White House is racing to issue remaining funds from key legislation that President Biden signed this before President-elect Trump takes office. This includes the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure law and also includes finalizing agreements between the Commerce Department and manufacturing companies, also allocating grants for climate initiatives and surging available money and weapons to Ukraine. And the military judge in Guantanamo Bay has agreed to delay the hearings for the 3 alleged 9/11 conspirators until December or January. A deal was reached in July after more than 2 years of negotiations, and the men would plead guilty to avoid the death penalty and be sentenced to life in prison. But Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin revoked the plea deals in August, and on Wednesday, the judge ruled Austin acted too late and that the deals were valid. The prosecution requested the pause in court proceedings to appeal that decision. In your business news, Bitcoin surging past $87,000, which is up 25 or 30% since the election results came in last Tuesday. Cryptocurrency is digital currency that can be bought and sold directly without a middleman like a bank. President-elect Trump has vowed to build a national strategic reserve of Bitcoin, and experts advise if you invest in crypto, diversity is key, saying due to the risk, it should be a small percentage of your portfolio. In your health headlines, the Israeli government has failed to meet criteria set out by the U.S. to improve the humanitarian situation in Gaza. And this is according to 8 humanitarian aid organizations. They say the situation has dramatically worsened on the ground, particularly in northern Gaza. And officials say they are discussing steps needed to be taken to help improve the situation. And the Wisconsin Supreme Court debated a high-profile case centered around Wisconsin's pre-Civil War abortion law. And this was yesterday. The lawsuit will determine whether an 1849 law banning nearly all abortions can be enforceable in modern times. And last year, a lower court determined the law does not apply to consensual abortions, which prompted Planned Parenthood to resume the procedure. A Republican district attorney is now asking justices to throw out that ruling, and a decision is expected to come in a matter of weeks. And now check this out. Mattel is apologizing for a major mistake.
It's an understatement. Well, the toy manufacturer printed an adult website address on the boxes of its Wicked dolls. Mattel meant to have the official website of the Wicked movie on the packaging.
However, that ended up that there was a page restricted for people under the age of 18, and Mattel says it regrets the error and is taking, quote, immediate action to remedy this.
Officials say people who already have the dolls should get rid of the packaging or scratch off the link.
And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest at 6, a club at a Yakima County high school honored veterans in a unique way, this by wearing military uniforms dating back to the 1860s to modern times, with some students wearing uniforms by their family members. Emily Goodell with that story in our 6 o'clock hour.
And it is a little bit windy out there for some of us, so I'll show you where a wind advisory and a high wind warning is in place. Also, I'll show you where we're tracking wet weather on this Tuesday morning, and that's going to be coming up at 6.